During football season, Mr. Skin comes to us every Monday around this time, and we have Mr. Skin on the line right now. How you doing, Skin?
Doing great. I think the San Francisco 49ers need more injuries.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding.
Every time I was working out, I'm watching ESPN, and then this guy goes down. And it's not like marginal players. They're like all your best guys.
It is freaking unbelievable.
Did they have enough time to get ready for the season? I mean, come on.
No kidding. All right, Skin, it's time for nudity in the movies. It's always a treat talking to you. And,
well, thank you.
And just once again, you have the history of nudity in the movies. It's called Skin. And that is on a ton of different...
well, it's funny. It's at 46. So this is my documentary, Skin, A History of Nudity in the Movies, that came out August 18th. And I got to tell you, it's at 46 different places you could download it. And we're starting to get the numbers from, they take so long with this stuff. It blows your mind how slow this moves. But it doesn't mean people aren't buying it. It means it's taken long to find out. But it's really looking good that this is going to be a winner. I was like, I put the money up for the movie, and I was like, okay, let's. I hope this movie does well. But it's kicking some ass and showing a lot of ass at the same time.
Hey, Skin, do you think you could be up for like some kind of award with this show?
You mean like Best Picture?
Yes, exactly. Could you win an Academy Award documentary?
I mean, it's eligible, but I can't imagine anyone would vote for it. But, it should win an award for the most nude scenes of 2020.
I love it.
No movie had more nude scenes than Skin, A History of Nudity in the Movies. I'm very proud of that.
So, Skin, hey, listen, before we get into what you want to talk about, I just want to say I was watching HBO, and there was a show that I flipped on called We Are Who We Are. And there was a gal, I think her name is Chloe...
Yeah, Sevigny.
Sevigny.
Yeah.
This gal, I mean, there were nude scenes in this show.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool... HBO Max is a new streaming service from HBO, and what's going on there is that if they're going to have you pay like a monthly fee for this new service, they have to come up with original programming. And this We Are Who We Are is it's about these two teenagers that live on an army base in Italy, and they're growing up and learning about sex and everything. And then their mom is dating Chloe Sevigny, who, by the way, little trivia for you. Chloe Sevigny did a great nude scene in the very first episode. That must be what you saw.
Yes, that's what I saw.
But I don't know if you remember, but Chloe Sevigny was the same actress who was in the movie Brown Bunny from 2003. The only mainstream movie this played at the Cannes Film Festival was reviewed by Roger Ebert that featured a moment in sex that you'd only see at a porn site, and it was really shocking. And it was Chloe Sevigny. Yeah, it's a mainstream film. She's been nude 14 times, by the way, 14 different places, movies and television shows.
See, and this is all off the top of his head. Okay, I'm going to throw another one at you then, okay? So, and as you can see, I watch a lot of HBO. So I was on HBO, and I saw some, and I don't even know, but I don't know the name of the show, but it's on all the time. The last 2 weeks, it's on all the time. And there's an Asian nurse that she's boning some guy, and the guy's got her like, I mean, he's really doing his business. And all of a sudden, it looks like this woman is coming to, let's say, fruition in the sex act, and all of a sudden, all this snakes and stuff like pop out of her mouth and destroy the guy. And I'm watching this going, what the hell did I just watch? What is that show?
It's called Lovecraft Country. A lot of people are watching it. It's a sci-fi horror thing from HBO, and it's from that Jordan Peele. He was the guy behind Get Out. And what's so frustrating about that show, and I want to say, it does have normal, awesome nude scenes, like Journey Smollett, who is the sister of that dude that got in all that trouble in Chicago. Jesse Smollett. She did a beautiful nude scene. Arjanu Ellis had a gorgeous nude scene. Yeah. But man, like the scenes you're talking about with Jamie Chung. So you're watching this thinking, wow, what a beautiful actress, and this guy, what a great sex scene. And all of a sudden, tentacles start coming out of ears and nose and mouth.
And every orifice, there's tentacles coming out. And I say tentacles, not testicles.
Well, I'll tell you, tentacle sex is not that sexy, I want to tell you.
No.
And then there was another one a couple episodes before that where this Monique Candelaria, and I think I showed you guys this, she's full frontal, and you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. She's topless, and then you look down and she had male junk under.
Oh, wow!
I didn't see
these
that.
Curveballs at you. And it really is. It's really tough. So.
Well, and I'll tell you, I've never rooted against sex scenes because every time this woman. So then later on, she meets some dude at the. She's a nurse, right? So she meets some dude at the VA hospital. Mm-hmm. And she takes him home, and they start getting down and dirty, and she starts looking like she's getting into it, and then she goes, "Stop, get out of here." And she threw the guy out, and I'm just like, thank God this guy didn't bone her. It would have been his death.
And when was the last time you rooted against a sex scene?
I know, it's ruining TV for me.
Well, I won't do a playlist, even though it's October and we're going to have a lot of horror movie nudes. I'll refrain from doing my top tentacle sex scenes and put it on your show.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So now, what do you have for us this week? What should we look out for?
Yeah, really quickly, I did want to recommend for all you guys is check out this documentary that a lot of people are talking about on HBO called The Vow. It's I've been plowing through it. There's 9 episodes. I've watched 6. And
The Vow,
it's about
like a love vow.
Well, it's about this NXIVM cult. It was in the news a lot where that Allison Mack got arrested. She was from Smallville, and this Keith Raniere started it. It's a fascinating documentary, and it ended up, of course, like all cults, where the main guy is having sex with all the women and all that. But one of the things that's pretty cool is Catherine Oxenberg has been in a lot of episodes, and you might remember her from the 80s and 90s. She was Amanda Carrington on Dynasty in the 80s. And,
she was hot.
So her daughter is in this damn cult, and she's trying to get her out, but as I'm watching it, I'm remembering, Catherine Oxenberg, she did the classic 1999 film called Time Served, where she goes to jail because her son kills the stepfather, and he did it in self-defense, but she doesn't want him to go to jail, so she takes the blame, gets sentenced to a long prison term, and the warden is corrupt and forces the hot inmates to work as strippers at a local nightclub. It's the most 90s movie you ever saw. But as I'm watching The Vow on HBO, I'm like, oh my God, that's the Catherine Oxenberg that did one of the craziest movies ever in 1999. So if you're watching it, and I do recommend it because it's a lot of like weird. I'm always fascinated, like what makes a person end up in a cult. You know, it always fascinates me. But anyway, it's a real cool documentary. A lot of people are talking about it, and Catherine Oxenberg has done great nudity that's in that doc.
No tentacles when they make love?
No tentacles.
All right, then I may end up watching this.
Guys.
Okay.
Tentacle free.
Thank you, Skin. Talk to you next week.
Got it, guys.
Okay, the great Mr. Skin, MrSkin.com. Chastity was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Tentacle sex. Yeah, that's something you don't say every day.
And the guy's dead. I mean, it just like he disappears in a cloud of dust. She's like Satan or something.
She eats him up. Not in a good way.
Exactly.